We should really change the name of the channel, and I don't know what it could be called, but it's like food, drink,
eat, drink, sleep.
Eat, drink, sleep, repeat. Isn't that what you said?
Yep.
We are in Porto. This is our only full day. I'm not even saying what day it is. And we are in search of an ATM first and foremost, and then a place to go have our cappuccinos. And the reason we're looking for an ATM is in a very short amount of time between Faro and Porto, we found out that there are many places that do not take international credit cards, right?
Correct. Some don't even take any credit card. And Faro, I don't think many at all. Specifically, we were told last night that no international credit cards. We were able to pay for our aperitivo.
Oh, right.
That's what you call it, via PayPal.
We're on a mission this morning. We just had a very nice lunch with Josh and Kalie from Expats Everywhere. We are going to share their information with you. If you are thinking of moving to Portugal, they have a wealth of information, incredibly nice people, and we got to meet their lovely daughter, Valencia.
And we didn't take a picture of our food.
Yeah, we had a great meal. It was all the specials of the day. So now we're headed across the upper part of the bridge. We showed pictures in the previous video. Timelines are freaking awesome. Just keep things rolling. And now we're walking across to go do some port tasting. Is that correct?
From what I understand, that is the plan.
We're headed across, hoping to not get hit by a train. Man, we're way up here. So if you want to avoid those stairs over there, you want to take that thing right there. And that's where we were last night, up there at a wine bar. The treacherous roads we will travel for some port. Okay, start. Does that mean you want to stop and get some port?
Only if we're in a spot that is interesting.
Gonna go see if we can do a port tasting, right? Hola.
Portuguese? Portuguese? English?
English. Oh, you were asking me Portuguese. Yeah, I got it.
Your alarm was very Portuguese. I thought you were Portuguese. Your left is there, right?
Yes.
Look at these beautiful colors.
Yes. They're all so different.
Okay, guys. So, what you're having there are two of the port categories, which are the white ports and the tawny ports. Okay. So let's start probably with the tawny ports. The tawny ports are the two classic ports. Okay. 300 something years ago, when ports started to be made, everything that was alcohol, it was made in wooden barrels. The rum, the whiskey, the brandy, wine, beer, everything. And port, of course, was not an exception. Okay, so we use the port in oak barrels. In our case, it's French oak. It gives a different profile to the wine. It's slightly softer than the American oak, for example. And by aging something in wood, you let the oxygen get into the barrel, and the oxygen has contact with the wine. Because of the oxidation process, the wine will start losing some of its natural properties. Okay, so I mean, imagine when you cut an apple and you leave it in 30 minutes, it gets dark, different flavor, different smell. The same thing happens with the wine. But the tawny must stay for at least 4 years in the oak barrels. Okay, so it's at least 4 years of contact with the oxygen. So because of that, it starts losing some fruitiness and freshness of classic young port, and it gains a higher complexity with a different structure. So we start feeling some dry fruit flavors, caramel flavors, hazelnut flavors, much more body and much more intensity. Especially when the tawnies get older, after the 20 years more or less, in the aftertaste they remind us a lot about a whiskey or a brandy, because they've been in contact with the oxygen for so long that they lose everything that was fruit. Okay? In this case you have a 10 and a 20 years, 10 and 20. And the important thing to understand is when we have an age written on the bottle, it means that we have a blend of several harvests, and the age on the bottle is the average age of the harvest. So in a bottle of 10 years, we have harvest with 4, 7, 9, 10 years, but then we have with 15, 20 or even more. It doesn't mean that it's exactly 10 years. It might be 9 years or it might be 11 years, okay? It means as well that if you mixed so many harvests, they were not very good or very interesting in the beginning to be aged alone. So we mix the different profiles, trying to find the balance among everything we have there, okay? When a harvest is extremely good, when it gets a balance and the quality we expect a nice port to have, we either make a vintage or we make a colheita. So this one is a colheita, and colheita in Portuguese means harvest. So this one is a single harvest, in this case from 2007.
So for 1 year's worth of harvest.
Exactly. And normally we age them in smaller wooden barrels. I mean, it depends on the profile you want to give to your wine. If you age them in big wooden barrels, they don't have that much contact with the oxygen, so they will have much fresher profile. If you put them in smaller wooden barrels, there is much more contact with the oxygen, so the transformation in the wine is much faster. So the flavors of the wine are very, very concentrated. In this case, colheita especially is my favorite kind of category because of the quality of the grape, and because of the balance that it gives to the wine. On the nose, the colheitas are quite intense and strong, but the flavors, they're very spicy, it's smooth, it's very round and balanced. And this one is like having a true caramel in your mouth that melts in your mouth and then sticks to your cheeks, your tongue, to your teeth, and stuff like that. So I think that tonics will be the strong part of our company. It was bottled this year, 2022, so it spent exactly 15 years in the barrel. The oldest one that we have here is a colheita from 1974. That was bottled this year, so that one is 48 years.
Have you tasted it?
We have it open. I might spoil you a little bit at the end if you want. That one is amazing.
Oh my
But
gosh.
that one has a very special background. Do you remember when I told you the company was founded?
Yeah.
1993. That one is from 1974. So it was a port that was made to be sold to the big guys. Do you know what happened in Portugal in 74?
No.
It was the Portuguese Revolution.
Okay.
So some years before, the Portuguese dictator, he fell from the chair, he bumped his head, he died, and a different guy replaced him. And the new dictator, he was sending a lot of young guys to the war to Africa, to the colonies. Portugal was the last country that released its colonies in Africa and Asia. So the military were like full of that life. They didn't want to lose young guys in the war. So they did the revolution from 24 24th of April to the 25th of April, and the democracy was restored. So basically, because of the revolution, the AVDP, the official entity that controls the market, was not controlling the market that much that year. So the family was able to put aside that port to celebrate the democracy. Nowadays we have 3 barrels like those of that amazing port aging in there. So it's more or less 800, 900 bottles. So besides the quality that the port has, it's very symbolical, not just for this company, but for the Portuguese people in general, because it means freedom, honestly, for these people. The white port. The white port, they are not as popular as the red one, although they have been produced since the beginning. But in the beginning, when the exporters, the French and the British, were coming here to export the wine, they had the monopoly in their hands. And when you have the monopoly, you just want to keep making the money, right? How are they making the money? From what they were selling. What did they sell? What people were buying. What people were buying? They were buying the things they knew. What did they know? The classic port. And what's the classic port? The red one. So when the exporters were coming here, they were saying to the Portuguese, hey, stop making the white port because it's not good enough, it doesn't have quality, it doesn't have potential, just stop. But the Portuguese and all, they kept making the white port. Until the beginning of 2000, we had just like 2-3 different kinds of the white port, mainly like this first. Very fruity, very fresh, very explosive. And in the beginning, especially the big companies thought there was a gap in the market and the possibility to make more money. So they gathered next to the Portuguese Institute of Wine, and in 2006, the official category of the white port was created.
So different.
2006.
So it's a very recent kind of category.
Yeah.
So after that, we started seeing in the white ports the same thing as in the tonics. We have the blended ones like 10, 20, 30, 40. We have single harvest. We have the white reserves and very old white port. What's the thing? The white port, the white grape, they have a high sugar concentration and more acidity. So it's very hard to age a white port in the oak barrels. So you cannot find that much of the very aged white port in the market because it's more expensive to make a white port and people don't buy it that much because they simply don't know something as this, you know. So it's more or less the same process as in the tonics. They have contact with the oxygen, but the transformation is not as quick because you must be very careful. You must treat this wine very, very well. The young white has some nice tropical fruity flavors. It's aged for 2 years in stillness tanks, kept away from the oxygen, so it keeps the natural qualities of the grape. It's very sweet, very fruity, with some nice pineapple flavors, even some apple flavors, and a very nice touch of honey on the aftertaste. And that touch of honey, when it's aged in the oak barrels, it starts having some nice caramel flavors, you know. The 10-year white, this one, is one of my favorite ports I have ever tasted. Yes, it has a very nice combo, a mix between the very fruity qualities of the white grape and the qualities of the aging process in wood. It's not overwhelming, it's not very long, it's a little bit shorter, not that much complexity, and it has an amazing final fresh kick. I think you will love that one. It's very nice for summers, it's very nice for winters. So you can drink it chilled, you can drink it not that cold. So it's a very, very nice combo. So it's 10 years, the same thing as in the 20s. It's the average age. This one is a 30-year-old white. You can see even in the color, it doesn't have a very white color.
Not at all.
Okay? So 30 years means it's a blend. But do you remember I said that it's not exactly 30 years? And this port is now closer to 40 years than to 30 years. The average age of this port is 38 years. So in a couple of years we will change the label for 40 years because we keep adding the different things to the port because with the time that it's aging in the wood, it's still changing its properties. So the winemaker is tasting.
So some of the stuff originally just keeps staying in it and you bottle it and then you keep adding to it.
Because imagine that it gets too intense and the winemaker says, hey, it's too intense, people won't drink it. We need some more fruity flavors. We pick up the barrel with the characteristics she wants to add. She decides the percentage she wants to put it and we'll add again something. This one last year was our white reserve. It was about 8 years. This year it became our 10-year-old white. So it's always becoming, it's always aging. But sometimes even if you add something very young, the average age will drop. It will go down. So you know. So it's very, very interesting. The 30 white. It's a very, very, very complex port. It depends on your own taste. If you enjoy it or if you won't. It's not my favorite port. At least for me, it's a little bit overwhelming. It's very sweet. It's very it's very complex. But I had a couple already from Greece. They bought two cases of this port. They just felt in love in it. So I just hope that you will feel the difference between every single port that we are going to taste. Because you cannot find this port in the US, for example, especially of this quality. And if you have any other question,
Two questions. Do you recommend?
Yes, from your left
okay,
to
just
right.
making sure.
But don't finish one glass and then move on. You have small sips of each of them, and so you can always go back to compare them if you have that necessity.
And then my last question, or last at the moment, is the winemaker somebody from the family, and is there just primarily one?
So we
really
have two responsible winemakers. We have the Claudia, which is the sister of the general manager.
Yeah.
She's responsible for the port winemaking. Then we have Teresa, she's responsible for the winemaking. And then we have their assistant, so we don't have just two winemakers.
Right.
We have different guys. And actually we have an assistant guy, I forgot his name, but he is from Hungary. And he started his own small project in the company. He's aging the port in Hungarian oak barrels, and it's not very common in the market. So we are very...
So what kind of barrels?
Hungarian oak.
Oh, Hungarian oak.
Hungarian oak.
Yes. Normally just
As opposed to French oak or
you can start the oak you want, but the most popular are the American, the French, the Swiss, the Russian, and I think that's it, and the Austrian.
So Hungarian oak.
But just because he's Hungarian, so he
They
started
wanted to
his
try
own
something
thing.
different.
And I went to the Douro Valley last weekend, and I saw the, like 3 or 4 barrels of his port aging in there. So
Very cool. All right.
okay.
Awesome.
Any question?
No, thank you so much.
I'll bring you some water.
Okay.
Perfect,
Go get
thank
some
you.
Water.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And enjoy.
Thank you.
Did you get up close over there?
Oh, I didn't know.
Did you get any of those?
No.
We went and did a simple port tasting, and once again, mucho dinero later, we are out walking the streets on
No money left.
and
we
we have
need
a
a place
case.
to stay.
But in 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to have a case of stuff arriving at our house. So
And we have 2 free glasses. We spend hours.
you know what? All we do is spend money on, like other couples go and they spend money on clothing and shoes and elaborate things.
We don't even go into this clothing store.
We don't. We just, well, we do. That's not true.
But not
But-
good clothing stores.
And all we do is spend money on food. We should really change the name of the channel, and I don't know what it could be called, but it's like food, drink,
Eat, drink, sleep.
eat, drink, sleep, repeat. Isn't that what you said?
Yep.
Okay.
Or I said-
We're gonna put it in the we want to put it in the comments that if you like that name.
But I also like breadcrumbs and backwash.
Oh yeah, breadcrumbs and backwash.
Because
That's
you just
another.
watch us eat. And
That's all we do.
And sometimes we forget to take pictures of our food.
Because we
and
eat
so
it
then
so
we
quick.
show
and
you an empty plate.
We almost gave our camera to the chef the other night at the restaurant in Faro because the food came and we were so excited.
And
then,
it was so good.
And it was gone, and then we're like, crap, we forgot to take photos. And so we were going to give him the camera so the next time he made our exact meal, he could take a photo of it so that he could share it back to us and we could then use it. But that didn't happen. So now we're just walking on we were literally right over there, right? Yeah. So last night we were right over there at Wine Key. And now we're on the opposite side where all the port manufacturers are, but we spent so much time and so much money in the one that we just left
which we chose a small,
Right.
small, private, family-owned,
Right.
because we can potentially always get the 2 brands.
So now we're looking for our hot dog on the street to eat for dinner because we're broke. I think these are dinner cruises, but we're not sure.
As always, we are just a
Yeah, we're just a wealth of knowledge, as you can tell. We share all valuable tidbits of what we learn, all the exact details, pricing, directions, facts.
We did find out if you wanted to eat gondola up and down.
It's €6
€6
one way, €9 round trip.
$6 one way, $9. Sorry, €6
€6
one way, €9 round trip, and €3 for children.
€3 for what?
Children.
Oh, what about pets?
I don't know if you could fit it in your handbag. Maybe you don't have to pay. I like all the safety precautions.
Yeah, like the railings on the side. Oh yeah. Man, oh man. Do you think those are my little sardine buddies?
They're a little big.
Yeah, they are. So we stumbled across a little indoor mercado, little indoor market. It's so cool how they do these cheese and yeah. Yep. The nuts are locked up. This is cool. It's like the beer bars, and
Yeah.
you choose it, get the thing, you go find it wherever it is. I don't know. Very cool.
You think don't
Yeah.
need a beer?
No, not yet. Oh, like a pastel de nata with chocolate. Did you see that? The pastel de nata with chocolate.
What does that mean?
It's got the same pastry we got with chocolate on top. Wow.
More a fantasia. All my love, all my fantasy.
All your favorite words.
Perfecto. What are we doing?
Oh, we just ordered a beer. We're drinking, I guess, apparently.